All right, welcome everybody to episode 3 of the Blueprints. We are very excited to bring in a special episode today with a very special guest. We have Mr. Brian Krassenstein in the mix today. How you doing, Brian? Thank you so much for joining us.
Good guys, thanks for having me.
Of course. Yeah, so me, Brian, and Salil have been talking in the last couple of weeks, and we decided to go over some emerging accounts today on Bitclout that need some spotlight. So we have a couple of accounts we want to review today, just kind of analyze, looking at Prosper Clout tools, what can we, see that they've been doing and just where they're headed, what direction they're headed with what they're doing right now. So yeah, let's get right into it, guys. Yeah, let's go.
Awesome. And this episode would be amazing to keep it as a problem solving episode, right? Like as Maz said, these are emerging creators, right? So they're on the platform, they're doing good things. But when we look
Mhm.
at their accounts during this episode, it's mostly about, what are they doing well and how, based on what we have seen so far, people, who've been successful on the platform, look at that as a case study a little bit and what can we suggest these guys? And also open it up to discussion, and hear Brian's input on this.
Absolutely. Perfect.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
So, Brian, you shared three profiles with us, right? So, the three profiles we'll cover today is Mintech by Tonya, Green Heart Cloud by Yanni Brandley, and then Charity Cloud by Meme God. So, if we start, jump into this, very first question that comes to mind is these are social good projects. How do you think about a coin price for a social good project in your mind?
I think it's kind of like push and pull because on one hand you have people that want to help and don't care about the coin price as much as they care about helping the cause. And then on the
Yeah.
other hand, you have the investors who see it as an opportunity to make money. So usually what I find is that the coin price for these projects, they usually go up a little bit and then they kind of level off. And then a lot of times they slowly fade away,
Yeah.
fade down. And I think it's just because I think there's more investors on the platform than there are people looking to put money in projects that are trying to help people. And that's
Yeah.
nothing against the people in BitCloud. It's just the
Yeah.
way BitCloud's built, at least in the early going.
Yeah. So if we actually literally pull up Mintech's project, right? Like what Brian just said, uh, coin price is around $150. It's an account that was created on June 5th.
Yeah.
So 16-day-old account roughly. And yeah, we saw it, quickly rise up. Like it got to the about 160 price point in 5 days of launching, if we look at it on the chart here. And then it's almost been stagnant there. And like, in a day or so, it's slightly come down, nothing material. But I think
Yeah.
the point that you share is like, yeah, it becomes a hump a little bit.
Yeah, I just think that like you have that initial surge
Yeah,
where people are excited to help out, and they might also be thinking, "Hey, I can make money if I get in early," and then it kind of levels off,
yeah,
and like it's kind of hard to keep a consistent price upward movement, you know?
yeah. And when
Exactly.
you are investing in these projects, there's a founder reward, right? Like you said, like they can use the founder reward. A lot of these projects are actually using the founder reward to do some social good in the real world. Uh, How do you see that? Do you feel these projects are explaining enough on how the founder reward is being used? Can they do a better job? What's your thought on that?
Yeah, I think a lot of the projects could do a better job.
Yeah,
I think the issue though is that there's the profile bio. You only have I think like 200 and some characters,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
it's tough. It's tough to explain everything in that bio. You can link to like maybe a white paper or something like that, but even then, you want to explain something, then there's not even room for a link. These people are usually finding. So
yeah,
I would like to see pin posts because I
I
think
was just
that
gonna
would
say
allow you
that.
to
I was
kind of
literally gonna say that. Yep.
like that would make sense. And then
Hmm.
like why not just pin a nice post with
yeah,
everything you want to say, and then that's that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea, right? Like in Maz, like pin posts, we've talked about this before also.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think the white paper idea is brilliant. I actually just pulled up Mintech's account on Bitclout, and if you just read the first few lines, it's minorities in tech funding creators on Bitclout with a focus on empowering and investing in Black creators. So I understand what they're doing. I don't know how they're doing it. How many people will they invest in? There's so many questions, that actually this raises, and I would love to support them, right? A lot of us would love to support them, but I think yeah, either a pin post or a link to a white paper probably is going to be much more compelling.
Yeah, definitely. And I would prefer the pin post because people don't click links. It's like
Yeah,
you see that
Ah,
link and you don't click it. So like I think I don't see why they haven't added a pin post yet because I think it'll be super valuable for everybody.
absolutely. Completely agree with that. Yeah, the links are hard to click. Yeah, they sound nice, but most of the time, we just scroll through. We're not going to take the time to click. Yeah, pin post would solve that for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, especially on mobile. Like people don't
Hmm.
want to click the link on mobile and then get a whole new screen and then they get all
Yeah,
confused about how to get back.
yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but clarity on founder rewards is definitely something I see an opportunity with. What about engagement? Because I've noticed in the last couple episodes, the engagement and coin price of profiles tends to really be very closely tied. Um, we'll see with these three examples how much they've engaged and how it has that affected their coin price. But I definitely see more engagement the first week than the last week here. Looking at
Yeah,
Mintech here.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's true. In some sense, like there were no posts, and if I actually come back and look, not only posts, but last activity was a few days ago, right? From Mintech, right? So I think there is an opportunity for accounts to engage more. Let's pull up another profile here. I'm going to pull up maybe Green Heart Cloud and see if we see a theme across some of these social good projects. Okay, so good news is Green Heart Cloud was literally online less than 60 minutes ago, right? So they were active, they've been active. Their engagement numbers have been consistent. And I'm going to meaningful engagement. Their price point has been around the 400 point mark. Uh, to Maz's point, first few days was like a rush of engagement, right? First 3 4 days, it's like literally going up to the point where on which days? It's May 30th, they had 45 plus meaningful engagements, right? That's a lot of good stuff happening. And now I think it's somewhat stabilized at roughly like 7 8 to 10 posts or meaningful engagement each day, but overall average posts still happen to be about 5 every day, which I think is pretty good. What do you think?
I think that I think it's good, but I think a lot of these social good programs accounts are
Yeah.
having issues in creating posts. Like what
uh
do they post about? So
yeah,
like Green Heart Cloud, they could post about like green energy, green
that's a great point.
good planet, good stuff for the planet. But
Yeah,
I mean, like Mintech, like there's not too much to post about until you start amplifying these other accounts or buying these other accounts or helping these other accounts. And if you don't
yeah,
have the income of the founder reward, it's hard to do that. So I think they kind of find themselves in like a limbo area where they're like do I post something that's kind of unrelated or do I
yeah,
just, I don't know. It's tough.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great question, right? Like, and also I think right now in such early days, BitCloud has this a little bit of an issue where people love to engage on BitCloud related topics, right?
Hmm.
Your engagement typically, if I talk about anything but BitCloud, the engagement is somewhat average, right? If I start talking about
Yeah.
BitCloud and block heights and listing, people love to read that.
Yeah, and I think it's just because right now, like everybody on BitClout loves BitClout and is interested in BitClout and wants to talk about BitClout. But like if I start posting about like my flower garden, like how many people are interested in flowers? And I don't really
Yeah.
have a flower garden, but I was using it as an example.
Yeah, it's a great point. Absolutely. So I guess then if I'm, one of these accounts, I think the most important thing is just making it a clean, simple message. And like you said, I think pin posts will do that. And
Yeah.
maybe these accounts don't have to post every day, but if the message is there, I think as BitCloud scales, this should also, increase with the users coming on the platform.
Yeah, and I think that a good strategy would be to kind of reach out to other members of the BitCloud community and like form partnerships
Hmm.
and do cool like engaging activities so you do have stuff to post and engage with. Of course, it depends on what your aim is, but I mean, there's so many people that want to help out that it's not too difficult to find people that maybe you can team up with and do something fun, like or give diamonds away or just something
Hmm.
that's gonna bring engagement to you.
Yeah, it's a great point. And I've noticed on BitCloud, collabing is probably the most important thing right
Yeah.
now, right? That's how we find people. That's how, yeah, collaboration has been huge on the platform. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I would love to touch on the messaging piece here as well for a few minutes. The messaging piece, and I feel it's a little muddied in some cases. It's hard for regular projects to begin with, right? Uh, how do you explain what the founder reward is used for? How do you explain that, if you take out 10%, 20% of the founder reward, the remaining money, because it's essentially will go up, right? How it's a speculative investment right now. So by keeping a founder reward of 10, 20, 30%, is there an inherent messaging that we'll use part of the money that you put in as the founder reward to do social good, but the remaining money will actually grow with us? Do you think, is that a messaging? Does that need clarity as well?
Yeah, yeah, I think it does. Like you need to tell people buying your coin exactly how it's going to be used, because it
Yeah,
really is kind of like a crapshoot. Like, am I giving $100 and buying this coin?
yeah,
Are they going to use the entire founder reward to help people? Or are they going to keep some in a reserve so that their coin price kind of stabilizes higher? It is important, I think, especially for those looking to make money and earn as an investment rather than just help.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Helpful.
that's a great point. Mhm.
Um,
Uh, any stats that you want to look at, Salil, that affect that you think are important as far as I know in the last episodes we've looked at HHI.
yeah,
Any metric that you feel we should look over as far as for these accounts that are a little bit different than creator accounts?
yeah. I think HHI is interesting. I think the couple of metrics that I would like to look here would be probably three. HHI on early accounts might not be very reflective, right? Because when the account is small, typically the creator themselves have a large portion of their own coin holdings, right? Like that's
Yeah,
people come in and put money into their account to buy the first few coins. And in that case, the HHI for early accounts, smaller accounts tend to be quite high, right? So that's also, something for everyone to consider, right? We talk a lot about HHI, that HHI should be less than 0.25, but keep it in context, right? HHI can be less than 0.25 for large accounts, right? If it's a small account, a few $100, or an emerging account, few $100 creator coin price, I would not overly anchor on HHI and, ding an account, if you will, on that metric. But I think the few things that are actually exciting and interesting to see is who else has bought their coins previously, right? Because
mm,
maybe some verified account, maybe some, when someone buys, good or and that's how the world sees it right now, is they're lending their credibility, right? They are giving a little bit of their own goodwill, or passing on their goodwill that they have done their diligence. So I'm going to jump onto let's look at the Mintech account and see if there are any verified or whale accounts that have bought their coins, and I'm opening it up. So one verified account I see, which is Amira Dime. Is that right? I'm pronouncing it right. I don't know. So yeah, there is one that shows up as an interesting verified account. So something to keep in mind. I'm gonna see if there are on other ones, right? Green Heart Cloud, and see if there is how that looks. So that could be another metric for people to look at, right? Okay, it's an early account, but let's see, have there been any verified people or large accounts that have bought in? Design Star has bought some coins for Greenheart Cloud. So that's a verified account. They almost have one coin of
nice.
Greenheart Cloud. And then I'm going to look at Charity Cloud. That was the fourth, or sorry, the third one that we are looking at today. And on Charity Cloud, oh, there are several actually. There seem to be seven. So oh, Krassensteins are on their cap table. Maz, you're on their cap table.
Yeah, I from way from I'm on there from earlier.
All right,
Absolutely.
guys. So tell us, what got you guys to invest in Charity Cloud? Both you guys.
Yeah, so I was very skeptical at first because
Okay.
I just saw this account pop up. They said they were in Jordan, and nothing wrong with Jordan at all. But then I saw who was behind it. It was Meme God,
Yeah.
and I was like, I know this guy. He's been super active. He's actually posting images of everything. I think that, like I said to you before, Solo, I think that there's never 100%.
Yeah.
There's never 100% that this person is actually doing what they're saying. I mean, they could
Right.
fake stuff, but
Yeah.
I think he was showing me enough to make me feel comfortable, and so I just dove in and I bought some.
Yeah. What about you, Maz?
Yeah, so for me, I remember it was with I think the Lowe's game. They did a Lowe's donated a percentage, I think, to the charity clout and
Okay.
had some sort of call of action where they were reclouding something specifically. So that's when I realized, okay, cool, let me at least buy in some sort and try to support and test this out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just yeah. So that's how I found out through I think it was a Lowe's games or something. There was some sort of collaboration that happened that brought them to the spotlight.
Got it. Got it. And when you guys both bought their coin, their founder reward is roughly what I'm checking, 15% right now. I think it was around, it's been consistent, 15, 10, 15. So nothing crazy high, 10 or 15. Did you guys have
Yeah.
any expectation of actually selling the coin at a later date for a profit?
I didn't. I just looked at it as, hey, I'm helping charity, and
Yeah.
we also bought in with Clout for Good. I think we bought in with like 500 or something like that, and and I just feel like I bought in. I just want to help out. I think he's doing an awesome
Hmm.
deed, and that's pretty much it. I don't see myself ever selling it really.
Okay.
Yeah, see, for me, I think it was a little bit of both. I
Yeah.
still was, obviously you want to see it go up. But yeah, I've kind of left it there, whatever amount is there now. But at first, definitely I was watching it and seeing, oh, how high can it go?
Yeah.
But then I kind of shifted the mindset of, it's for help. There's no
Right.
I'm not trying to make a profit from this. But like Brian said earlier, it's hard to see these type of accounts right now because I think we're all in the mindset that we need to get profit, or if the
Yeah.
account's not going up, it's not doing well, which I think it's wrong to view it that way.
So
Yeah,
in that,
and
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, a lot of the ones we invest in or buy into, especially with Cloud for Good, are the ones that we know the people. We met them. So, like in
Yeah.
Yeah,
Miami, we met Talania from
Yeah.
Mintech.
same.
We met Yanni from
Yeah.
What is it? Greenheart Cloud, is it? I don't
Yeah.
forget what it was.
Mhm.
But like we met them, we talked to them, we see they're real people, we see that they're really interested and passionate about what they're doing, and I think that helped. And like I said, like you can't be guaranteed that they're going to do 100% what they're saying, but I think that helped us.
Okay. Okay. So would it be fair maybe to say that because you're literally trying to help them, you might have bought it at a much higher founder reward?
Yeah, I would have. I personally would have, but I don't know if that's the best move or not from their standpoint.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. No, I think the biggest thing I'd look at this, right? And I'm on Mintech, like we talked about, and I just scroll down to the last 10 trades. And that's another interesting thing to, think about.
Mm.
Because one, there's a founder reward, and we just discussed, right? Like founder reward has a meaning here, right? Like low founder reward can support your entire coin or how you think about it. But on the other hand, these accounts are also buying and selling other coins, right? And they are trading. So they are a creator, and everyone kind of wears two hats, right? There's a dominant hat you have on the platform, but then there's also a different hat that you wear, either a creator hat or a trader hat. So if I'm on the last 10 trades on Mintech and I see they just bought yoga and wellness, just from the name, without doing, going deep into it, feels like it's in the social good health space. But then I see things like Lisa, Marriott, your Krassenstein, they just actually sold a coin or a partially small portion of a coin. Mad Pets, Reem Shan, so different accounts. And would you have any recommendation to these guys, right? Should they actually just focus on being a creator, just focus on doing social good and not be trade, like not trade? And if you trade, how do you use their profit, right? How to think about it?
Yeah, that it's tough. I would say just focus on doing what you're set out to do, and
Yeah.
leave the trading for your other accounts. For with Cloud for Good, we had a policy, and we still do, where we will the way we help accounts are we buy them. So we'll buy like $500 or $1,000 in this account, and we promise not to sell more than 50%. And if we do sell that 50%, it will be used to buy another account we want to amplify doing good things. So I think that like trading back and forth, like that can get messy. You can lose money, and maybe that's not what people want you to do. Another thing is how much of your own coin should you own as a charity or a social good
Yeah.
project?
Yeah,
Because
that's a good
you're
point.
not, unless you're going to sell that coin to use that money to do the social good. I don't know if there's really a point in it. And
Yeah.
and like you're never gonna sell it and just take the money. I mean, that'll be really,
Yeah.
really kind of crappy to do to all the
Yeah.
people that wanted you to help people. So
Yeah. 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 No, I think the point that you just made is a very valid point, right? So I think really it comes down to a clear messaging and a clear plan, right? There are a few different mechanics on the platform. It's new mechanics for everyone, right? But for any social good, and I think this is a very strong platform for social good projects. But I think social good projects need to almost think through it and share that. And I feel personally that the transparency requirement for social good projects is slightly higher than regular projects, right? Because regular projects, there is an expectation of profit. In a social good project, people do it from the from a good place, and they want to make sure the money goes to a good cause.
Yeah.
yeah, and like the whole buying your own coin thing, it's like I don't know if that's really necessary for anybody anymore, especially if there's a stigma of selling it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, it can keep your coin high, but ultimately, like, is there really a really good reason to have a super high coin price? I don't really know anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
right now, the only thing it does is help your rankings and comments if nobody
Yeah.
else has diamonded.
Yeah.
So I really like when I launch a new project, unless I have a purpose for those coins,
Yeah.
I don't really like. I kind of feel guilty buying the coins because it's tempting. Like later on, it's going to be tempting. Like, what do I do with it? You know,
Yeah.
I think as an investor, I look for coins that they don't own a whole ton. Like maybe they
Yeah.
own like 5 or 6.
Yeah, it's a great
Interesting.
point. Can you tell us a little more about what you look for when you do invest in a lot of these like social good projects on the platform?
Yeah, so number one, if I met the person in real life, I think that helps a lot because I can
Hmm.
Yeah.
put a face and just an attitude behind the
Yeah.
project. Um, Other than that, we just like look at like what they're showing us. Like, are they showing us that they're doing something? Like, can we look at the blockchain and see who they're sending the money to, who they're
Hmm.
sending the cloud to, and what they're doing with it? I think that's important. Uh,
Yeah.
and I think that Charity Clout did that really well, and that they kind of documented what they were doing. Uh, and it's just all about confirming and trying to confirm as the best you can. Like the last thing we want to do is buy a coin and then amplify it and say, "Hey, we like show people we bought it," and then
Yeah.
have it be like really just a scam or some
Yeah.
scheme,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Exactly.
that'll look bad on us, and it's gonna hurt people, and it's not gonna go to help people that should be being helped.
Yeah. And with you guys, right? Like you both have verified profile, right? You go and buy someone's coin. That's almost a signal to other people, right? That people expect the Krassenstein brothers, if they're buying, I trust that coin. If Maz goes buys a coin, people will follow Maz, into that creator. So I guess almost the hurdle is slightly, or you guys somewhat, signal to the market that you've done that research and you're endorsing it in some, weird sense.
Yeah, and it's like from our personal account, like whether it's for these social good projects or just any project in general or any account in general, like we didn't really realize that at first. Like we were speculating on like really risky accounts,
Yeah.
and we see people following us in, and I'm like,
Yeah.
God, like I don't want people following me in. So what we did, we created an anonymous account or two anonymous accounts, and the stuff we're doing on our own, buying and selling on our own as speculations that we're doing using that account. The ones we want to like publicly amplify, like the people we're doing that are doing really good. Like if I bought Maz, like I want to say, hey, I bought Maz because I know you. But
Yeah.
like the ones that we're speculating on and are unsure of, we just use the anonymous accounts so nobody even knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that makes sense. I don't know if you guys saw Diamond Hand's post, I think it was yesterday, where he said Bitclout is one of the only platforms where you can be anonymous and famous at the same time. You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
you can really have both, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I recommend it. Like if like don't just use your main account. If you don't want people knowing who you're buying for various reasons. I mean, you don't might just not want to offend somebody when you sell their coin, or
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
don't want people following you into a coin. Then create an anonymous account. It literally takes a second, and it costs $1.30 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, and I think the other thing here that can potentially help people is to encourage people. I think they can be like holding a coin and doing social can almost be a badge of honor, right? Like if you hold a green heart and you believe in it, right? You've done your diligence, you believe in it. I think there is potentially a world where people who've held that coin, who've been part of their journey, should somewhat get highlighted, right? Or given some credit for. I think that's an opportunity for either developers of the project or maybe for BitClout to consider doing something about it.
Yeah, I think I spoke to you earlier
Yeah,
about that. How like it would be cool if there's like a badge feature, but I think before it gets to that point, you kind of need to verify that what these people are doing are
yeah,
really what they're doing. So like you don't want to give badges to somebody and then it end up being a scam. Like
Yeah.
it's tricky. So like I would like to see something where they can kind of verify like charity accounts or verify these social good accounts in some way, whether it's just actual charities that they can
yeah,
verify that are registered with the government.
yeah.
I think that would be awesome, and then you could get badges for donations or whatever.
Yeah. So, guys, whoever is listening to this and wants to start a project, I think this is truly a brilliant idea, right? The project's goal can be to, do real life um, checks and real life diligence if this is truly a project and that's their value add, right? Like for, Brian or for Maz or for me to go look at 20 projects to invest, it's a lot of work. But if one
Yeah.
person is doing that and we trust one, then we need to trust one person, right? And based on that, we can allocate. I think that's literally a idea setting to be done, right? For someone to do it. Just run with this.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Good guys, thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you so much again to Brian for coming on to this episode today. We truly appreciate his insight where we talk about social good projects on BitClout and and how they're doing on the platform, what can they do, and just all kinds of different things like their founder reward, their engagement, their coin price, coin holdings, how all these things matter when it's a social good project. So once again, thank you for coming on, Brian. And yeah, we want to leave you with this. What is a good founder reward that you look for when you invest in a social project on BitClout? Is there, such a thing as being too high, or do you not care because it's a social project? And do you invest in these accounts because you want to help or because you expect returns as well? Let us know. Leave us your feedback. We're curious to hear. This is a cool new category that we've focused on this episode. And yeah, there's a lot of room for opportunity for social good projects on BitClout. I think it's probably one of the best platforms for social good projects. So, yeah, Salil, any last words you want to leave the viewers with?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and the things that apply for regular projects do apply for social good projects, right? The
Yeah.
basics we encourage everyone to do: be active, engage consistently, be very clear what the project is about. Those are the basics that hold true for a regular project. And those are the basics that hold true for a social good project as well. In some sense, the transparency requirement might be slightly higher, that how the founder reward is being used so that people feel comfortable. But yeah, engagement, consistency, and messaging. So those are the three pillars that we would encourage every social good project to spend some time focusing on and refining.
Absolutely. Well said. Well, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you on the next episode. Peace.